My name is Grace, and I'm a stay-at-home mom, and I have 12 kids. Good reason for me to stay at home, right? But that's all aside, because I've got something that you really have to hear. This week, I spent $10.49 and got the best return on investment just about ever. $10.49, and I think that the return on that was better than, let's see, maybe a Nobel Peace Prize or an Academy Award. I bet you're wondering what could possibly be that valuable for $10.49. This week, my daughter asked me if I would drive for their field trip for their class. And I wasn't busy, and so I said, sure, I would do that. And the day arrived, and I went over and took our big van. You know, you got all these kids, you drive a big van. So I collected my group of kids that were assigned to my car, and we went out to the car. Well, you know, that morning when I was taking my kids to school, my older son had remembered a field trip that they went on last year. And he was saying, you know, we got to go to so-and-so wherever they went. That wasn't the point. It wasn't even what he remembered. He didn't even remember where they went. What he did remember was that there was this cool mom that drove them, and she brought donuts. And on the way home, they had a donut eating contest, and it was so much fun. That mom was cool. Well, on the way home, on the way to my assignment to take the kids, I just thought, well, I want to be a cool mom. So I stopped at the store and I bought some donuts, and I bought some, those little juice bottle things, and put them in the van. I didn't take them in school, and so I collected all my group of kids, and we went out to the car, got in the car, and I said, okay guys, I have this treat. Should we save it for later, or should we eat it now on the way? And what a dumb question. Of course I knew they were going to say, let's eat it now. So we passed out the donuts, everybody got their little juice bottle, and it occurred to me that we didn't have enough time for those kids to eat because we weren't going very far. It was only a couple of miles. So we were going up the hill, and then instead of making the left-hand turn, I turned right, and the kids all started looking at one another, and we started driving around the neighborhood in the opposite direction of the place that we were going to. And the longer we did that, they were kind of giggling and hitting, poking each other with their elbows, and it started to become pretty fun because we were kind of being naughty. We finally arrived at the location when the last kid finished eating their donut, and some of them saved their drinks for later, and we went and we did our service project that we were going to do, and it was fun, and everybody had a good time. And when we were ready to be finished up, the kids just made a beeline for the van, and we had leftovers. They were going back for more treats. They got in the van, and as we were pulling out of the parking lot, all of the other moms that had driven were lined up behind us, and we turned to the right instead of the left to go back to school, and the kids are all laughing. And there was a neighborhood we were going to drive through, and they're looking out the back window and watching the other cars turn to go back to school. And we just took kind of a little side excursion. We drove around this neighborhood while they were eating, and we were looking for those Easter egg trees. It's Easter, and flowers that are just starting to bloom because winter was so long. And when we got back to school, there were still a few kids that were still eating, so we drove around the parking lot several times, and they were, avoiding school for an extra 5 minutes. And then we finally drove up to the door. I took the kids in the school, and I went home, and they all said thank you, and it was just a nice morning, a nice way to spend the day. Well, after school, I went and picked up my kids, and my daughter got in the car and said, Mom, thanks for driving for the field trip. Everybody said thank you. That was really nice. It was fun. And I had fun, and what better? That's about as good as it gets. Everybody's happy. Well, then later I overheard my daughter talking to a friend of hers, and she was talking about the field trip, and she was saying, yeah, you know what? Everybody thinks that my mom is the most awesome mom, because we got to play hooky for a little while, and she brought treats, and we just had so much. We were driving around looking at the flowers, and then even when we got back to school, she still killed some more time just by driving around the parking lot. My mom is awesome, and all the kids that rode in our van think that my mom's the most awesome mom around. How good is that? $10.49, the best compliment ever. She'll remember that forever, and I'll cherish that memory. It doesn't get any better